And here we are again, Donna Jacobs, June Rogers, medical journalist, to discuss some new topics.
Okay, so Donna,
Yes.
one of the things that I liked about your model is that you break it down very nicely, where you have the parent, you have the child, you have the guide, you have the adult, etc. So, most people work out of the parental places of neglectful parent, catastrophizing parent. What's the third one again?
Good student. Critical parent.
Critical parent. Okay.
Indulgent, neglectful.
Okay, so, and most people hang out in those parental modes. We do. I mean,
we've all hung out there, absolutely.
Yes. Now, but to become a healthy person, you have to move across and become an adult. What does that mean?
So an adult chronologically or an adult psychologically?
Psychologically.
So, okay, that's cute. Because to me, the parent and the child states are the emotional handshakes. Because each one of those parents, the three unhealthy, the three healthy, lead to a feeling in the child state, because that's where we feel. And that's the emotional piece. That's the emotional psychological piece. The adult, how I frame the adult, and you're right, at any age, because there are kids who are little adults.
That's
we know
true.
those.
Yeah.
So the adult, in my view, is the part of us that actually takes care of business and lives life.
Okay.
So it's the part of us that, if you have not an electric car, you put gas in your car.
You still have to, plug in your car.
I do have to plug. So the one who plugs in my electric car, right? Who pays your bills, who shows up to appointments on time, right? So it's the part that I call the adult the one that problem solves, decision makes, is pretty linear and rational. Okay. It's the one that has a conversation. It moves things forward. So it's really the part of us that is the functional part of us that is out there in the world.
Okay.
Because a lot of that emotional stuff we don't see, right? We don't see when, people are angry and frustrated and helpless and hopeless and anxious. We don't often see that. What we see is them in the world. That's the adult piece.
Okay. But not everybody is 100% adult all the time,
Oh,
right?
not at all. And in my model with the three parts, the parent, adult, and child parts, there are some people who are predominant child and have a good, a next size good parent and then a smallest adult.
Oh, okay.
They just don't. Maybe they're more dependent. They're more anxious. They don't function well in the world, and that's okay. The sizes don't really matter, but not everybody has a fully developed, strong adult.
Okay.
And there are others who have an overly developed adult. And in my view, there's always the healthy side and the unhealthy side of any of the states, including the adult.
Okay. What does an unhealthy adult look like?
So the unhealthy adult is the part of us, remember, like the adult takes care of business and it does well, but there's the unhealthy part of the adult is when they are so far behind the wall that you cannot reach them emotionally.
What's the wall? What do you mean by wall?
So I don't want you to know me. I'm behind the wall. I'm not going to deal with your feelings. I'm not going to deal with my feelings. What do you mean? How do I feel? I'm fine. They just don't want to go there. A lot of couples who come to see me, and it doesn't matter the gender, but there's often one who will be so untethered to their feeling emotional state that the other partner is driven crazy and will say things like, I can't reach him or her. When I'm in feeling, they don't know what to do with it.
Yes.
Right? I don't myself know my own feelings.
So, it sounds like my father.
Okay. Right?
Yes. He was a very rational man. He was an engineer.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's a stereotype, but it's true. And he learned how to be this wall. I agree, it was a wall. And I remember once coming up to him and saying, I'm so sad for you. He had just gotten divorced, and he said, "It's none of your business."
Oh,
I went, what? I was really taken aback by that.
I am sure. Don't even come into my emotional space, right?
Correct. So, I think, he was emotional. If there was a beautiful piece of music, he would cry.
Oh, that's how he could let it out?
He could.
Okay, but he couldn't let it out relationally?
No.
Okay.
Maybe with his partners or his wives or whatever, but certainly not with his children. So I understand that. So for me,
You know, that's exactly what I'm talking
that's
about.
an unhealthy adult, right? Now, why does somebody do that? What's going on?
I think the piece around that is, and I see a lot of people who are really behind the wall and cannot deal emotionally, and there's been some early shutdown in their child state. Remember, the child state is what I coin the heart and soul of the model. It houses our feelings, our needs, and our wants. And as kids growing up healthy, we have lots of feelings, lots of needs, and lots of wants.
Yes.
Right? So I would say that when people get that shut down, it doesn't have to be trauma, like large T trauma, but it can be small T trauma. It can be parents who weren't listening. It could be two parents, maybe like your dad, who were so shut down they never learned how to access their feelings. The little, the little person in us, that young person, wasn't really validated or acknowledged. So you learn to shut down. I don't know how to access my feelings. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to I don't know actually how to even describe what's going on here. And I see lots of people like that, to try and like actually coach them and teach them that if you dig in, I promise that little guy or that little girl, she's there or he's there, right? And if we can connect them, I promise you will know how to start feeling.
Wow.
And your partner, if you're partnered, will really like that. So that's that unhealthy side of the adult. And it's really an easy fix to teach people how to get there and go there. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Wow. Now, these people who are unhealthy, I'm thinking of my father. One of the things he liked to do was to drink.
Drink, I knew you were going to say. And we didn't rehearse this, but I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah. So they do that to also suppress the feelings, right?
That's exactly what it is. If something's getting too uncomfortable, right? I can take a drink. Here's Lucy. Lucy, say hi to the camera. Okay.
Is she an adult?
No, she's a puppy. She's a complete alt child.
Okay.
Hasn't learned anything yet about adult. But that's the idea, that if you don't know how to feel and these strange things are coming up, drinking would be, when I say the perfect solution, right? It's perfect that I get to numb myself and I don't get to feel at all.
So all of the addictions, gambling, smoking, drinking.
Smoking, maybe not.
No?
Smoking like nicotine cigarettes?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, because I think there are people who feel a lot and are smokers. I think the things that change our consciousness, like drugs and alcohol, right?
Okay. Gambling?
Probably gambling, probably sex addictions, because I think they change a bit of the neurology. I do.
Okay.
But that's exactly it. Like, if you're not used to feeling and you don't know what this stuff is, that I do this because mine churn here, it's very uncomfortable.
Yes.
I wasn't taught. I don't know. Nobody wanted to hear what I thought or what I felt.
Yes.
Right? I knew not to cry. I knew not to come home sad. I locked myself in my room. I hid under my bed. I mean, these are things I hear.
Yeah.
Right? So if that starts coming up and you're an adult, drinking is you were probably set up to become something that would be avoidant of feeling.
Okay. So that makes all sense.
And now let me talk about the healthy side of the adult.
Okay.
In case,
sure, why
in
not?
case we forget that. The healthy side of the adult is the one that is in the world functionally dealing with relationships, dealing with situations. And what I like to say about the healthy side of the adult is that when we are in uncomfortable feelings in our child state, we're angry, we're feeling frustrated, we're resentful, we're feeling shamed or guilty or anxious, like any of those, right? And we have to have a conversation, like I have to have a conversation with you. It's the healthy part of my adult that speaks on behalf of that wounded child.
Okay.
So let's say I had something to say to you. I wasn't happy. You said you'd meet me somewhere and you never showed up, and you never called, and it was no big deal for you. Right? If my child state wanted to deal with that, I'd say, that was really mean of you. That was so mean and inconsiderate, and you weren't even thinking of me, and I'm really angry, Yes.
Yes.
The adult might say, can still have angry energy.
Yes.
June, I really had a real strong reaction to when you didn't show up and you didn't call me and you knew that I planned my time around you.
Yes.
Look, I'm really upset.
Yes.
And I want to talk to you about it.
So that's the healthy adult.
That's, even though you can hear my energy isn't calm,
right?
But I'm not name calling. I'm not raising my voice and yelling. I even tell people if they're angry and they're sort of like, look, I am furious right now. That's still the adult talking.
Yes. Because you're not blaming.
Because I'm not blaming, name calling, screaming, putting somebody down, shaming or guilting them. I'm owning it.
Yes.
And I'm talking about it in as functional a way as I can.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the healthy part. It's got
It
a big
is.
job to do.
It does.
Because it functions in the world
Yes.
and
Yes.
it moves things forward, we hope, in a healthy way.
Right. And that's a tool or a skill that you have to learn, right? To be able to
Totally.
talk to somebody about what it is that's bothering you
Yes.
in a way that does not cause more pain and suffering.
Absolutely. So you know what, it's a great point. Let me walk you through that really quickly. There's 3 steps to that.
Okay.
The first step I always say is you own the feeling.
Okay.
So you start with I language. You know, I feel upset, I feel let down, I feel anxious, I feel bad, right?
Okay.
We don't use you. We're not blaming.
No, because we're talking about
we have
ourselves.
to own it.
Yes.
Okay. The second piece is why. You know, when you didn't show up, right? So you're describing the behavior.
Yes.
I'm not calling you selfish and inconsiderate because that would be evaluative and judgmental.
Because you don't know yet what the reason was.
Exactly. So
Right.
I just want to describe the situation. So I was
Right.
really upset when you didn't show up. That's where you is okay.
That's a fact.
Yes.
Right.
I'm not adding anything. I'm not making it up. It's the
Correct.
situation.
Right.
The third piece is the remedy, which is what I would have wanted, what I would have appreciated. Next time, could you? I would have liked if you. I need you to. So it's
Call me ahead of
reparative.
time,
It's
or-
reparative, exactly.
Okay. To give a solution, basically, of how we can move
Right,
forward in the next time.
Into the next time.
Right.
Because now you know this
Yeah.
is how I feel and this. So if you want to know me, gee, Donna doesn't like to be sort of left stood up. No, I don't. So now if we're having a relationship, you know that.
Yes.
And I know you're a kind, loving woman.
Yes.
So you're going to say, okay, well, that's important to Donna. Now
Yes.
let's say I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Then
I
you
would
have
not
no
have been-
way of knowing that.
I would have known that you were angry, but I wouldn't have understood what happened for
Okay,
you.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And what you need from me.
Right. That's
Because
the
I don't-
important piece.
right?
But you might not even know I'm angry.
Oh,
Well, I may have said, yeah, okay. I may have not said anything. Somebody who's really shut down. Think about the adult on the
Okay.
other side.
All right.
Maybe your father would have said, I'm not angry. I'm fine.
Ah, okay. So then what do you do?
Well, if you are insightful enough to either to ask an open-ended question, how did you feel about that? Or there's something in your tone that feels sort of let down or disappointed. Can we
Yeah.
talk about it?
Yes.
So that's still the adult moving it forward.
Okay, and that's the adult from the other person, right?
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Well, it's
so that's the healthy side and the unhealthy side.
Can you do the 3 steps again about what to
Yes.
do?
So the first one is we own the feeling and we use I versus you.
Okay.
I'm feeling upset. I was really stressed. I felt unhappy. I was let down. Any of this. I feel
Okay.
I'm so unhappy. Any of those.
Okay.
Number 2 is just describe the situation.
Right.
Just describe it.
Just the facts.
And the third one is the remedy. What I'd
Right.
like, what I appreciate, what I needed, what I would need next time.
Yes.
I'll give you a quick example. When you raise adolescents, their rooms are
a mess.
terrible. Okay, and I tell people just close the door. Don't make that your battle. So one could walk in and say, I'm really frustrated looking at your room. It's a pigsty. You're so inconsiderate. How many times have I asked you to clean it? What the hell's the matter with you?
And what's going to happen?
You can do it that way, and we know what's going to happen.
Nothing.
Or
they get
we
angry.
can walk in, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Or we can walk in and say, oh my God, I actually am lost here. I don't know how to reach you anymore. I've asked you and nothing gets cleaned, and I walk into your room and what I see is stuff all over the place. See the difference between describing and it's just describing the situation.
Right.
I'm not calling them, their room a pigsty. I'm not
Right.
saying they're inconsiderate.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, there's stuff all over the floor.
Right.
You know what? Sweetheart, I'd really, really appreciate it if, even once a week you could clean up so we can get in and vacuum.
That's a remedy.
That's a remedy. That's number
Right.
3, the remedy.
Right. Good.
Okay, so that's all from the adult state.
That's a good one. Thank you.
Okay, so again, guys, donnajacobs.ca. They will be posted, or you can check on YouTube, Donna Jacobs, and they will be there. And if you like them, as I say again, share them with your friends. And if you have any questions about any of these that we're posting, please email me at info@donnajacobs.ca. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.